Hello, welcome to an episode of Wing Zero Duality. And I've only got about a minute and 47 seconds with the average amount of you. So, we'll get to the point. If you've come to this channel and to this video looking for knowledge, memory, and experience, or opinion, information, or entertainment, then you'd be quick to change the channel. Because on this episode, we're going to ask if there's anything of which thought has not touched. Thought being all that is knowledge, memory, experience, opinion, information, entertainment. Okay? Now, obviously, thought has its usefulness, does it not? At its core, thought divides. Is this not why thought can distinguish between this and that, between then and now, between here and there, and so on? And so on into each specialized field of knowledge, whether it's the gathering of this specialized knowledge, the applying of this specialized knowledge, or the sending of this specialized knowledge. Is it not clear to us that everywhere we look, whether it be in the East or the West, this division, right? The human being is essentially concerned with knowledge, memory, experience, and opinion, information, entertainment. And so we find ourselves in this world that the human being has created for itself. A world that is not necessarily bound to the fundamental laws of nature. In that thought and its symbolic representation becomes the source of conflict and the source of success as to purpose, meaning, values, and everything in between, which is all based on the conditioned perspective. And so, on this episode, where we ask whether there's anything or is there a quality of which thought has not touched, then we must be rather serious, are we not? There are a few returning viewers to this channel, a channel of which is difficult to launch because it is a inquiry together with the audience. And as we can see for ourselves, most human beings are concerned with who knows, what they know, how to achieve, and so on and so on. Even in the realm of non-duality, whether it be tied to the ancient teachings or separated from any sort of attachment to organizations, knowledge, and teachings, in the teacher-student relationship, let's say, peer-to-peer instead. Even then, I found that these non-dualists find themselves in a situation where the student or the inquirer asks how, when between this time or before, transformation in time, an experience in time, knowledge which depicts how. Okay? And then we find the human being's frustration with such a degree of seriousness. Most people would not come to this point here to ask themselves what is not touched by thought. What quality is there that is not bound to symbolic representation? So then the human being turns to entertainment. Is it not? After studying whatever specialized field, whether it be law, physics, martial arts, botany, and coming to find the debates, the opinions, the distinguishment of limited knowledge, limited opinions, and limited perspectives, and the exhaustion of which makes this for the status quo to then separate between entertainment and all that is contentious and serious. Now, entertainment can be serious. A military drama is serious. A Western with the cowboys slinging revolvers, that's serious. Kung Fu, when you got the hands flying, the fingers chopping, serious. However, such seriousness is contained as to a certain distance between one's reality and a set and separated source of information and attention. One says to themselves, time for entertainment. And we may find, you and I, the human being, may find ourselves in times where, when we return back to our realities, we find a world completely shattered, fragmented, individuated and separated, grouped in like-mindedness against other groups of like-mindedness. And we find the frustrations regarding money and its oiling of the fabric of society become an issue. We find tensions between such divisions that thought has invented for itself, culminating into violence. And we may find a serious look into whether the human being can ever go beyond its limitations through the limitations of knowledge, memory, and experience. And so entertainment then becomes secondary, as it is for the average human being. But we find that the creative emphasis, one that looks to display something of a serious nature, lacking, missing. Because of this fragmentation that the human being suffers from inwardly and how it reflects outwardly, entertainment becomes a reflection of such fragmentation. Because the human being is convinced and has been passed down for generations that if a tradition is held, then it's only a matter of others taking upon this tradition. Then the problem will be solved. So just like entertainment, is there a quality of entertainment which is not touched by thought? Ones which the boundaries between the fragmentation of which the human being is mired in dissolves upon the observation of such a creative outlet. Can there be entertainment wherein the audience comes upon this entertainment as one's own creative outlet? I suppose entertainment is where this evening's emphasis is on. Wasn't planned on it being so, but like some of the most entertaining performances, improvisation is key. And certainly, some art forms are more serious than others. Some, like the martial art, deals in the serious circumstance of self-defense. And there is a physical component, a mental component, a complete need to draw skillfully, tactfully, and immediately. So we come back to the question of, is there anything of which thought has not come upon? That thought has not touched. And can such a quality be said to contain true creativity? In that creativity not bound by time or by knowledge. Creativity which has no beginning or ending point. Creativity that, once filtered through the thought process, its quality is lost. In that true creativity is the beginning of time and space. And time and space which is generally relative, non-locally real, and, let's say, holographically beset. Infinity and nothingness is its canvas. So, Why would someone want to know besides a few people? Whether there is something which thought has not touched. Is it because one's daily life can be radically transformed with such a quality? Going back to non-duality of which is known, non-duality which has never fundamentally transformed a human being. It has tried through methods of order and tradition and hierarchy and myth, and it is tried through individualistic freedom. And we find that the vast majority of the human experience is bound to fixed time, fixed values, fixed notions of knowledge, memory, and experience, fixed opinions, limited perspectives, and so on. What then when the computer provides all of what the human being is concerned with? When the computer can show the human being the limited nature of thought, which is you. Now, if we're seriously asking this question of if there's a quality of which thought has not touched, serious enough as to then utilize the thought process to change society's structure, to cultivate a society which its problem solving lends back to freedom from thought's limitation. Because obviously we need to use thought's divisive quality, to resolve for the practical. And coming upon its limitation in any specialized field you want, then is both the starting and the ending point to resolve for the conflicts of which thought has invented for itself. Then we come upon something very vital. Thought has invented for itself, or in common parlance, do we not say, you created this for yourself? So are you thought? Are you the thinker who is also an image or the knowledge, the information about you, the thinker, the imaginer? This is something very serious, which is at the core of, if we get into knowledge, memory, and experience, my endeavors for the past few years. It has been coming to certain specialized fields, whether it be entertainment, my favorite one, the funnest one, arts and entertainment, or science, physics, law, and asking the question of whether there is a quality of which thought has not touched in order to resolve for the conflicts of which in law it is the political paradigm, the issue of money and its influence on justice, all of the cultural, societal, business divisions, governmental divisions, all the myriad of a mess of which we are all looking through our conditioned lens to try to come upon a limited solution. Whether it be physics, of which the division between the quantum and the relativistic realms elude the scientist. See the through line of division. And entertainment, arts and entertainment, the division between the creator and the audience, between the business side and the artistic side, all having to do with division, and all having no one asking, as you can look for yourself on the internet. You can look for yourself on the internet. Everywhere is looking to divide further and further, using thought's only quality, a divisive quality, to fragment further and further. So, I suppose the reason why I ask myself whether there is a quality of which thought has not touched, is it not because fragmentation, as it furthers and furthers and shatters, that such fragmentation is entirely unsustainable? And whose responsibility is it to go and find that quality and bring that quality to one another and to oneself, besides oneself? And then we return to this question: are you thought? Are you who you are, what you know, who you were, a memory? And is coming to accept this. No. Neither accept nor reject. No. But rather allow this quality to come into being. Timelessness. Timelessness then which is free from the streaming of the content of consciousness. All that is between this and that, from then to now, from here to there. And is such a quality then evident in application of knowledge, memory, and experience, in a direction which leads to a pathlessness, a pathless land, which is what the quality of timelessness and of that which is not touched by psychological time, by thought, then could that quality resolve for conflict in general? And don't be fooled by my emphasis here. Having to accept the partiality of this world is a challenge. But such a timeless quality can provide the sort of patience needed to unravel a mess, to be sensitive to the great weight of the problems that human beings face, and a certain level of joy as to the crafting of oneself, and then as a result, society structure.